My name is Angel Aguirre. I'm from close by Barcelona city, in a little town, Igualada. And I am balloon pilot since 1988. Now it's 30 some years. Yeah, we were suddenly locked out in 12th of March. So since then, still closed down now. In Igualada city, where we live, it's around 30,000 inhabitants, and it was a very strong focus of coronavirus right here. The government looked down just our city first. Just around the city was absolutely closed since 12th of March. And after 1 week or 2 more weeks, then all Catalonia and the complete nation of Spain was locked down. Mauritania was in 2003. We wanted to do a long flight with a big balloon but a small basket. The idea was to fly for 2-3 hours into the dunes, where it's not possible to retrieve even with a truck. We use a 4-wheel drive truck. So fly, landing, spend the night there, and continue flying the following day to be out of the dune areas where the truck can arrive, right? This was the first idea, but it wasn't not like that. But we had a very strong wind. We couldn't take off again. We had a little hard landing, as many balloon pilots can have. I don't know, around 20 knots or so, but no any damage. We had to spend the night there, but we broke the frame of the burner, and we broke some parts of the basket, and we need, it was not enough our retrieving team, it was not enough the truck, and we need the help of the local people that we thought we were nobody else. No inhabitants, but after some hours, slowly start arriving some people, and we spent all the day retrieving the balloon from the sun with a strong wind. It's a wind called Harmattan. It's a typical local wind in the Sahara Desert. Even the envelope was ripped in several parts, and at the end of the day we were completely exhausted, with no food during all the day, and the local people in a very little village there, they invite us to sleep there, to repair the balloon, and we could continue the expedition thanks to them. So we were very grateful for that. The balloon flight, as I told you, can be more difficult or less difficult, or more far away or close to home. But at the end, the important thing is the help of the local people. So in the year 2000 or 2001, we went to the Amazon for first time. Just with, we were eight friends, 8 balloon pilots. But it was 10 years later, as you see in 2011, when a TV program showed his adventure character. So he looks for a specialist in every modality and go for it. So he find us to go with him to the Amazon, as he knows that we already did it 10 years ago as a guarantee. The main river, we were in Rio Negro, is the Black River, is the main secondary river of the Amazon, okay? And from that river, there are many branches of secondary rivers again. So what we do is because it was a high difficulty to find a place to take off, because of the forest. The only place possible to take off, there was little sand beaches in the middle of the river. So taking off from very secondary river, and the goal was to land in the main river. If when we land, the wind was calm in the main river, and then we wait there, balloon inflating, and we inside the basket full of water and waiting for the boat. The boat arrived, and we put the boat right touching the basket, and from the boat we deflate the envelope of the boat. That was the best landing situation. If it was a little bit windy and we couldn't wait for the boat in the middle of the river, we let us go like a sailing boat until the border of the river, where we touch the basket on the border of the river and the envelope lay down on the forest. But still the basket on the river. Then the boat also can arrive there and carry a basket at least, and then working on with the trees to put the envelope there.
Oh.
In Greenland, we organized an expedition with Miquel. You know Miquel, my partner in Contiki ballooning, the two of us who started 25 years ago. And we used a very small balloon. We designed a very small basket. It's 50 centimeters per 1 meter, and outside just for solo flights, with a very small balloon, also a 56 racer. And that was in March and April, where it's 24 hours sunlight, because the idea was to spend 5 weeks traveling in a dog sledge with the local Inuit people. The Inuits are the Eskimos people, the Eskimo hunters. That was in the very north of Greenland. In that area, to protect the Inuit culture, is not allowed cars, not allowed any engine. So we wanted to fly there. But it's so cold, and some parts are over the frozen sea, and suddenly there is a cliff of 1,000 meters high, and then there is the Greenland plateau up there. So the climate and the winds there are very unpredictable. In one of the flights I flew solo. It was very calm conditions, perfect conditions, taking off from the frozen sea beside an iceberg. Very beautiful place, very calm. And 1 hour later, the wind changed completely and started flying at 70 kilometers per hour, direction to the open sea. So I flew for 1 more hour, going up and down to check how was the surface wind, thinking on landing. The surface was around 50 kilometers per hour, 55, very close to the ice. Continue flying, and when I decided to land, it was not difficult, really. It was even fun. No? The basket fall down, the envelope in the spoon shape, as you see, when it's windy. But it was quite comfortable, as it was so small basket. I could sit on top of the basket with the foot on the frame of the burner, like horse riding, and I was dragging and bumping with the little waves, frozen waves of the frozen sea. After, when the balloon stopped, I was walking to count how distance I was dragging, and it was nearly 1 kilometer.
Wow.
Nearly 1 kilometer dragging. But that was really, really fun. But then I realized that I flew for such a long distance that the retreating, they couldn't arrive until the following day. So I had to camp there. I was prepared with equipment for that in the middle of the frozen sea. But it was so windy that it was difficult. I spent like 3 hours to put the tent I had to put the balloon tanks to protect the wind. Finally, it was a nice refuge. Just thinking and looking out from time to time with the burner ready in case of the polar bear come to visit me. But nothing happened, just a funny situation. And the day after, Miguel and the Inuits arrived with the dog sledge. And very nice, very funny. And many times, as you know, the local people who has to help us with their own method of transport and with their hands and with their experience, right? Without that, we could fly, but we will be there still now.